All right, all right. Welcome, Mighty Process Servers. Guys, I'm really excited. 2025 is here. Urgh. I'm really excited. We got a lot of cool things to be grateful for, a lot of things to be excited about. As always, things are happening, things are going. So I'm excited to hear from all of you guys and get an update, especially from those of you guys that have been doing the Be the Backup prospecting. I'm really interested to hear how that's going. And I'm going to tell you guys a couple things that I've been doing in that world too, and have seen some really cool results from using the Be the Backup script in a bunch of different settings. So cool. Well, Edge, can you hear me okay? And are you letting people in? I see Mary here as well.
Yes, I can hear you. And yeah, I'm letting people in.
Wake up, Edge.
I'm awake.
Not like you're laying on a soft pillow.
No.
Okay. Edge is one of my VAs. She is a rock star VA as well as Mary, and they're inside the community. If you guys have questions inside the Mighty Process Server community on school, they're in there. You can actually chat them directly, and they are able to help with whatever you guys need. They're actually the ones that help me manage the directory. They help prepare websites when we get new website signups. They help do that. So they're amazing assets. One of the things we're going to start with, I should say, members of our team, right? But I consider it assets because when you can duplicate yourself with leverage. A lot of times you hear leverage, you think of financial leverage. In this case, in real estate, we talk about leverage actually being other people. And so, about halfway through the month, we're going to start the VA. We're calling it VA hunting on Tuesdays. I think it was the 18th. I think we're starting it, but it's a little halfway through the month. We're going to start and we're going to dive deep into how to find VAs if you can't afford a local person. This is a great way for you to get started. And since that, I hired a lot of local people when I first started. I mean, a few. I had like 3 employees. And then as I started hiring VAs in the marketing world, I'm like, these people can answer phones in the US too. And if you are a Chase customer and you call customer support, you're getting a virtual assistant from the Philippines. All right, so welcome, ladies. Thank you. Appreciate you, ladies, helping administer things. Let's go ahead and get started. So, if you're new to Mighty Process Server, the idea here is that this is a mastermind. So, of course, I'm hosting it. I'm giving a little bit of intro. We build websites. We have a directory that we just launched, so it's ground level, right? So it's not ranking yet, but we're building it up. It's ranking in a couple cities, which is pretty cool and exciting to see. But the idea with the mastermind principle is that anyone and everyone can come, participate, give their value, all right? Give whatever they want, just be a go-giver, but also that any one of us can have a problem and bring it to this community and say, hey, this is the problem I'm having. And I'm telling you, there's books about this. I won't bore you guys with them, but the mastermind principle is real. You come to this group and you bring a problem, and there's going to be 3 or 4 or 5 or a bunch of people who have a different perspective about how to fix that problem you're having in your business. Okay. So welcome everyone. Mighty Michael Reed, President and CEO of 123 Legal Support, Mighty Process Server, and a bunch of other companies that are unrelated. Okay, so let's go ahead and get to know everybody. If your camera's on, you're going to be asked to introduce yourself. If it's not, then I won't bug you. All right, but I do encourage you to turn your camera on and to introduce yourself and get to know each other here inside the community. So, Mr. Jacob Davis, you first, buddy. Ask to unmute. You're muted.
What's up, guys? Jacob Davis. I'm sorry, my wife was on the call. Jacob Davis here in San Antonio, Texas, with Rocket Courier, where we are rocket fast. Uh, I missed a lot of the intro because I was tuning in. We're actually working a case right now, a pro se out of California, and I see my good friend Mike Kern on the call as well. Shout out to Mike and both Mikes, Michael Kern and Michael Reed. But yeah, Jacob Davis, Rocket Courier since 2018. And I love these meetings. I love these groups because this is how I got started. This is where I earned my war stripes in the beginning before I went out into the community and started serving documents. Was there anything I missed, Mike? on the was that
No,
supposed
you
to?
got it, man. Who you are, where you're located, and I just want you guys as you're going to envision that people are going to remember you. And maybe not right now they have a serve, but they're going to get off the call and they're going to go, "There was a guy on the call from San Antonio, something
Yeah,
Rocket something," and then they're going to go back inside our community on school. They're going to search, San Antonio, put that in your bio. If you guys look on school, if you click on the members and you scroll down, you'll see all the members' information, like where they're located and stuff. I highly recommend you put that in your bio, like because it's searchable. If you search San
and
Antonio, it'll show up.
yeah, and that's a great point. Let me add this, not to take away this the
Yeah.
shine, but I will got to give a shout out to Jessica. Thank you so much. Mike talks about being a go-giver all the time, and I know the people that keep plugging in here every day, every week. I see y'all, so many go-givers, and that's what it's all about. I was away from the industry for a little while. I was doing some other things. I never closed my business. It's always been in existence. I've always had it because I knew I would return. I just didn't know when. But when the timing was right, and the timing is right now, 2025. I made the decision in November, the end of December, got everything fired back up. And I have to say, my first serve back in the saddle, back in the seat, was thankfully to this group and Jessica. It was a referral from Jessica that turned in from not one, but to three. So right now we're on 2 out of 3. So I'm excited to say thank y'all so much, man. It's just humbling. And the phone is ringing. We're doing courier delivery, and documents. So I love it. So thank y'all so much. Thank you, Jessica. Thank you, Mike, and Mike. Turn.
Very cool, very cool. Welcome, Jacob. Appreciate you coming, man. Good to see you. All right, Mr. Joe Horton. Mr. Joe Horton. How you doing? You're muted too, buddy. Guys, in case you didn't know, Zoom mutes you. So when you want to talk, you have to unmute yourself.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
My name's Joe Horton. I'm from Maryland. I actually got started with a lot of thanks and gratitude to Mike right here. So uh, I've been meaning to get on these, and here I am.
Welcome, Joe. Joe, you're kind of blowing up over there on the East Coast. What's the name of your company?
LawServe Pro.
Yeah, Losser Pro. And what area do you cover?
Well, personally, Maryland, DC, Virginia, and then I send work out nationwide.
Yeah, Mr. Jeff, I think is in your neck of the woods, right?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, cool, cool. Well, welcome, Joe. I'm happy you finally made it. I'm happy that you finally made it, man. You're a lot like Jacob, Jessica. You kind of, and this happens, okay? And I don't, I'm not upset at anybody. Just so you know, like the people come in, they learn what they need to learn, their business skyrockets, and then they kind of you don't see them too much anymore. And so when they come back in, it's cool to see you, Joe, and like cool to see. And I can't take all the credit. I'm not even a Porsche. I'm just saying, like it's cool that
Yeah.
to see it come back for those people who are just getting into the community. And this is kind of like community 2.0, right? Because we started it before and then stopped it because I was trying to figure out how it really related, and then real estate helped me a lot understand that it takes a lot of time to get people to acclimate to this idea that they can grow their business, and force the growth of their businesses. So welcome, Joe. Appreciate you, man.
Man.
And Mr. Jeff Mother effing, no, I'm just kidding. Mr. Jeff Spar. Listen, Jeff, I'm just gonna say it now. Jeff is the winner of this week's engagement award. Jeff, I don't know how you come up with all these different post ideas. I'm sure you use ChatGPT. You have to be using ChatGPT. Am I wrong?
I'm here.
30 years of experience, Mr. Jeff. Tell us about yourself, where you're at, what you got going on.
All right, thank you very much. First off, I'm going to take 15 seconds at the end of my 60 seconds to give a shout out to a new member that I spent 41 minutes on the phone with early this morning. But I really need for everybody, even though there's only 14 in the group that I can see here, I don't know what's on Facebook or the other platforms, but please write this down and then I'll put it in the chat. But if everybody writes down the following sentence, it would be this: legal documents are no different than precious metals. Legal documents are no different than precious metals. I don't have time today to get into what Eli Wilkerson, okay, he's one of the newest members today. Within the last 48 hours that signed up. I chatted with him for 41 minutes. He explained to me the meaning behind that, and that's got to come out. But remember that is very important. So I'm Jeff Spar, Roanoke, Virginia, based in Roanoke, serving Richmond. We are physically 30 minutes east of Virginia Tech, process servers, private investigators, and security firm. My son has taken over the business after I've been in it for 30 years at 66 years old. And yes, I'm very much appreciated to be here. And yes, thank you very much for the prize. I appreciate it. Now I'm done.
Jeff, Mr. Jeff, I'm gonna cash app you $25 because
Yeah.
mailing you things does not work. So it's just $25, but it's something, right? You guys get, I was doing $100, but I like the weekly. You guys compete, you guys comment. So what are we talking about? Engagement, real quick. Engagement is inside the community. You're actually posting. You're actually on the community tab. You're actually posting and participating inside the community and helping each other. It's about being a go-giver. Right? We're all here to help each other. Next one I have here is Mr. Kern. Are you available? Or you want me to come back to you? I can come back to you. Look, I see the phone here. I see the phone.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm having problems with my Logitech thing. I don't know what happened. I think I pulled part of the wire when I got mad the other day and yanked it, and so I ordered another one. But somehow now I can't use the mic off of it somehow.
Oh,
So,
I see. Cool, man. Hey, well, welcome.
that's what happens. Welcome. It's nice and cold here in Texas. I'm sure Jacob can feel it. Dipped into the mid-20s today, so I'm trying to make sure I stay indoors. Our company is from California. I'm direct legal support. I'm the CEO. I have been in this business my entire life, 38 years as an adult. I am a second generation processor. All my family members, my son and now my daughter, all work in the business in different parts. Two of my three children are in Texas, so that's why I moved to Texas. And I travel back and forth from California to Texas on a monthly basis. Matter of fact, I'm leaving this weekend to go back to California for a couple of weeks. We do everything from process serving, court filing, skip tracing, e-recording, e-filing, you name it, we do it. So our model has always been similar to Jacob's. Is we try to be the best, not the biggest. Now, if it ends up that we become bigger and bigger, great. But that's not our ultimate goal. Bigger isn't necessarily better, we always say. It's about the quality and the quantity. Anyways, glad I was able to join in and participate today. And hope I can continue to contribute.
I appreciate you, Mike. Yeah. So your phone is your microphone right now?
It is for right this moment.
Hey, how cool, man. Well, hey, don't let that get you down. Listen, those of you guys that don't know, Mr. Kern here, I'm gonna talk to you, Mr. Kern. Mr. Kern is I don't even know where to begin, Mike. This guy, like, he in every association that he's been involved with, he is like the number one sponsor. He's the guy who steps up and tells these old guys, listen, technology's not evil. It'll actually help you. And the only reason why NAPS and Cal's Pro, and I know there's a lot of people that contribute, I'm not saying there's not, but Mike is the reason why he's basically taken these associations by the ear and said, come on, come on, come on. We need technology. We need marketing. We need SEO. We need all this stuff. And Mike, you see it because NAPS before didn't rank like ServeNow, and now you see them
Nope.
in every county.
They do.
You're
They
the reason
rank
why.
now, and we just built the new CalSpro website for California. But of course, you still need funds to do certain rankings, and I only have so many hours in a day, to contribute to it. I'm more worried.
But Mike,
about
this
my
is
own
stuff you're not getting
company.
paid for either. Sorry, this
Sure.
it's all, and that's why inside this community, I'm building it like the same idea. It's just like we're just out to help each other. Sure, I got the directory that I'm building that's I charge for in the websites, but this community is free, and having someone like Mike in here, Mike, did you join on the inside the community too on school? If you haven't,
No,
that's a
I
good
think
spot
I have
to
a
be.
link on it.
Yeah, that's a good spot to be. We got about a couple hundred folks in there now, and people are all engaged, and we'd be honored to have you in there. But
Okay.
but Mike's a great resource. When I first started, I've told this story. I want to give everyone a chance to introduce themselves, but Mike was one of the first ones that actually introduced me to some other people in the first association I became a part of, which was CalSpro. And I remember, I don't know if you remember, Mike, but you said you invited me to the thing, and I said, "Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna go." And you're like, "It'd be really good for your business. You should go." Like networking with other process servers. I'm like, "Well, I need attorneys, right?" And so I was so new in the business, I didn't see the big picture. And I actually told you, I don't know if you remember, but I said, "I'll go, but you have to introduce me to one other person." It seems silly to say it today, but I was like, "But you have to introduce me to some people. Like, don't leave me being the only guy there not knowing anybody." And he was like, "Yeah, of course, man." And I showed up and we hung out and it was great. And we met lots of big players in California, especially. And and it was close to me in San Francisco, I believe, or San Jose, on the near
Yeah,
the
I think
water.
it was in It was in San Francisco, I think,
There was a
or
hotel
Burlingame. Burlingame,
somewhere right there. Yeah,
which is
and
close.
Mr. Tony Klein was, it was like his backyard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Well, I appreciate you, brother. I hope many more meetings to come, and we got lots of really cool trainings coming up that I know I look forward to hearing your input on. So,
Appreciate it.
yeah, so not just we talked a lot about associations, but Texas and California, especially Los Angeles. You get stuff. I mean, he serves everywhere, but you actually have employees on the ground in LA, right?
I
Yeah.
do. In northern and southern, and now I'm getting ready to test here in Texas to become certified here in Texas through the JBBC or whatever it is.
ABCC, yeah,
Next
yeah.
month I'm going to take the class and the testing. I'm really good friends with Andy Garza here in Texas. I do a lot of
Mhm.
things with Andy.
Yeah.
We spend a lot of time together. Andy's close by to me, so
Mhm.
you know. And I got some other deals in place right now that I can expand here in Texas. So the first part was to get certified here in Texas so that I can add it to my arsenal, because I can bring $100,000 in business a month here when I get certified.
Mhm.
So
As
I'm in
soon
the
as
process of doing that.
when you're done with that class, let's talk. I'm thinking about doing a class, getting it registered with them and putting it on school on our community. I think that'd be really cool. Not necessarily to certify new people, but to give them their CEs, because apparently you got to get CEs and stuff too.
Yeah,
So
well, which is what I really wanted in California. But now when they move the Registration Act later this year to the state bar, it'll change things in California. It's going to flip California in a different direction.
mm, yeah, they're growing. So yeah, let's connect more. It's been a while. Thanks for coming, Mike.
Yes.
Appreciate you. So,
Thanks for having
so today we're going to be talking about how businesses fail. I wanted to get into SEO, but I'm waiting on one more thing that I want to share with you guys when it comes to SEO. So today we're going to break down, I think it's 5 pillars of why people fail. And these are ones I've experienced myself. I'm going to be a little vulnerable today, tell you guys some things that I went through. And I think it would be helpful for everyone, especially the new folks. So let's go ahead and actually, Miss Adele, you got your camera on. How you doing, Adele? Hold on. Ask to unmute. There you go. Oh,
Can you hear
might
me
be
now?
might be having a signal issue. It's not me. I don't know. It might be me.
Do you hear me now?
Yeah, yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so my name is Adele. I'm now the owner of Bridal Justice. Just got everything finalized.
Right.
Yes, it's been a work in progress. I had a little health, so I put that a little bit on the back burner. But I'm hoping 2025 is going to be the year, so I'm back.
That's so cool. That's
The
so
areas
cool.
that I go ahead. Sorry, the areas that I handle is Greater Houston, Galveston, Brazoria County, and Harris County.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, welcome, Adele. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Mike.
I'm really excited to see your logo and your website and everything. You get it dialed in. Let's get together. I'd love to help you promote it. I know it's cool to be a part of people's story. I got to tell you, there's there's no amount of money I think that would make it more worth doing this, seeing someone get their business going or pivoting their business. And then I think we were on Google or something. We were just kind of just brainstorming. And I was like, wouldn't it be cool if it was like Rhino Justice, something that could have like a cool logo, rhinos are cool, and I'm sure you could tell the story better, but anyway, she started Rhino Justice. We were able to find the domain. It's really hard to find domains with only 2-word domains. And so finding Rhino Justice and things like that, it's really cool. So let's dive into it. Also, remember, this is a mastermind. So even though I'm doing this brief, 10-minute discussion, starting this 10-minute discussion about how businesses fail and will your business fail, that you are welcome to put in the chat and then also raise your hand. There's like a raise your hand feature right here. See that? And that'll put you to the front basically. And then you're in line to ask a question or have a comment about something. Okay. But you're also welcome to just unmute yourself or put in the chat. Okay. I like that name. Jacob says he likes that name, Rhino Justice. Yep. And Jeff had to leave early. It's okay, Jeff. Appreciate you. Thanks for being the #1 engagement winner for this week. Sean's in the chat. Yeah, so guys, people are posting their information in the chat. You definitely want to do that. Post your information in the chat so that people can save the chat. And you can actually click on those 3 little dots and click save chat, and it'll actually save it as a file on your computer after the meeting, which is pretty cool. So Jeff's coming back. Cool. All right. So let's kind of dive into it. So should I share my screen? No, I'll just bring it up. So inside the community. Okay, let me click on the community real quick. Actually, yeah, I'll share my screen. We'll give ourselves a little visual. Okay. All right. So inside the community, I did this post here. Boy, Jeff. Jeff, you got all your posts here, man. Here you go. Will businesses fail? Or will your business fail? Okay, so there's a few different things I posted on here. One is poor financial planning, cash flow, and taxes. So I'd love to hear what everybody thinks, but the first one, I will tell you guys my story about this. Cash flow, they say cash is king. No, cash is not king. Cash flow is king. The ability to not run broke. I can't tell you how many times when you have employees too. Actually, the time that I'll tell you about, there's a few times in my life, but the most impactful one, I love to hear what other people think too, okay? But the time where it hit me the worst was I had payroll. And for those of you guys that don't know, when you have payroll, you don't just pay for the hours that they worked. You paid whatever taxes they paid, you paid half of that, the same amount that they paid in taxes. So a lot of employees don't know that. You're kind of subsidizing their tax bill because they're an employee. So you're paying their employment tax, they're paying their portion of an employment tax, and you're also paying for workers' compensation, FICA, all this different stuff, right? And if you don't pay um the employment tax when you pay them, you will go to jail. Like it is actually a crime to not pay the insurance, or you'll get a big fine. So that was stressful when I had 3 employees. That was the most employees I ever had. And I automated everything and I got to tell you, sometimes I had to sell stuff. I've always been a big guitar collector, gun collector, and I have went in and sold multiple guns, multiple guitars just to make payroll when I first started, like my 3rd year in business. And because you grow too fast. And so that's the first one. We're going to go through each pillar, and I don't want it to take forever, but does anybody else have a story or a comment on that, like your cash flow? Feel free to raise your hand. Mr. Sean.
So, hey, everybody. My name's Sean Griffin, Griffin on the Go. I'm located in Maryland, so I'm going to try to meet up with Joe. But I used to own I guess technically I still own a courier business, but I had a medical delivery company located directly between Baltimore and Washington, D.C. And I had a lot of government contracts. And government, they require you to have a certain amount of insurance and all that kind of stuff before you can even be considered for a job. And prior to COVID, I had 12 employees. During COVID, the government shut down for about 16 months. I still continued to pay those employees because nobody ever knew when the government was going to be opening back up. So for about 6 months, I continued to pay those employees and their taxes and their health insurance. So yeah, planning for a disaster was not really something that I had done. So I had to dip into savings a little bit to make sure I was covering all them because I didn't have any money coming in. And if anybody's ever done government work, they don't really pay in a timely manner. They kind of pay. So yeah, I kind of like to talk about here because I wasn't getting paid from the government during the pandemic, and then I was still continuing to keep my employees because when they open back up, I needed to be ready to go. So eventually we had to shut down because 16 months. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, yeah, Sean, I gotta tell you, had the employee thing is a big one. But just in general, thank you for that, Sean. I appreciate you, man. Yeah, you're breaking up a little bit too, buddy. But we got the gist of it. Yeah, but I appreciate you. Appreciate you're gonna meet up with Joe. Okay, yeah. I'm not sure. Yeah, you're muted now. Okay. Well, so
I'm,
the other thing,
I'm gonna try to reach out.
yeah, for some reason it mutes you on and off. I don't know why. Are you hitting mute? Okay. Might be poor signal. I don't know. That's weird that it would mute you though. So cash flow, because I want to move to the next one here if nobody has anything. Cash flow is is everything. Cash flow is everything. Like if you don't have cash flow. So let me give you a couple of tips, actually, helpful tips. One is the IRS is going to expect some money from you. So save some of your money, a percentage of your money. The best way I've heard it explained is to save, if you're making a lot of money, save about 45-50% because you might be in a different income bracket. If you're making, 100 grand, 200 grand, something like that, you're probably good to save like 30%, 35%. If you start making more than that, and this is not tax advice, okay? I'm just saying save money for taxes. That's what I'm saying. So, and here's the cool thing. Most of the time, if you're keeping good accounting, you're using QuickBooks, you're categorizing your expenses. I will tell you, I'm gonna give you some homework on this cash flow thing. Look up Schedule C tax form. There's a certain amount of items that the government considers like foolproof. You can write them off, and it's on the Schedule C form. Take that form, the information on the Schedule C form, and commit it to memory. And if you buy those things on the Schedule C form, the expenses and under the expense category, because it breaks it down for you, then it's a write-off. If not, you have to pay a certain percentage depending on your state as well. There's state taxes. And I learned this the hard way because my second year in business, I went and filed my taxes. The first year I only owed like 1,500, so I paid it. The second year I got a $50,000 tax bill. And they waited about 6 months before they levied my account. They don't mess around in California. Okay. So I'm just telling you, save some money and a portion of it. Kevin Hart says it perfectly. He says he saves 50% because he makes so much, right? But he says, it's not my money. I live in the greatest country on earth so that I can do these things and make this money, but half of it doesn't belong to me, not even in the beginning when I first received it. It has to be set aside. Okay, so that's my cash flow. We can circle back to that. Let's keep going. Inadequate market research. Let me actually share my screen. I want to give you guys some resources on this. This will be really easy. So if you're already in the business and you're making money, this might seem, like a waste of time, but it's really not. Let me show you why. So when you first start off your business, it's in a couple places in the community, but one place that it's at for sure is right here, calling competitors. So as soon as you go into the 10K challenge, you'll see that I have I've tried to make it shorter for you because it was a 4-hour video of just 9 minutes of where I'm calling my competitors and finding out how much they charge. Okay. And then I do a complete PowerPoint teaching you how to do market research. Should you even open up a location or start doing business, a certain service or business in that location. So if you're curious about this, that's what I would say. Go to that tab and check it out. it's going to teach you a lot, because as soon as you start calling your competitors, you learn so many different things. And a lot of times people don't call their competitors. They don't know, is there any competition? Like, are you in a red ocean? A red ocean isn't necessarily bad if you call your competitors. And I'll just give one quick example. When I called the competitors in Albuquerque, when I did the challenge where I showed you guys how to get to $10,000 a month in less than 90 days, I was able to do it in just 2 weeks, right? And I show you that step by step live, right, on YouTube. Um, in there, you hear me talking to people, and they actually say, like, I call them and I say, "Hey, can you serve an eviction for me?" And they're like, "We're 2 weeks out." The local biggest, like, has good reviews company that I called said, "We can do it for you, but not for 2 weeks." They didn't know I was a processor. They didn't know anything about me at all. They just knew, you know, 2 weeks. 2 weeks? You can't do that's not processor. They're irrelevant when it comes to competing if I was going to open a company, right? So I called the next one, and the next one was like, well, we can do it, and they gave me lots of great information about how the court works and how evictions work, right? They were very helpful. They had decent reviews, but they were very busy and they charged a lot of money. They charged over $100. And I was like, okay. And everybody else I called didn't answer the phone, and I called them multiple times. So that market research told me, okay, I should be able to call some attorneys and get some positive feedback, which I did. And I got many attorneys over the phone just by calling them. So this one was craving new business. The reason why a lot of businesses fail is they will open up in a red market where there is a lot of people, where it's a race to the bottom. People are lowering their fees. They're trying to, they're trying to get all the business for pennies, and eventually those people will go out of business because they can't afford to pay their bills. They definitely can't afford to scale because they don't have, you can't hire employees if you're charging what you're going to have to pay the employee to serve it, right? So market research is big. If your business fails, you might be in the wrong market. You might, when I say market, I mean the city, by the way. A lot of people get confused by that. The other thing is we're doing process serving, but I want to add in the element of additional services. Are you spending a lot of time and effort on additional services that aren't really giving you a return on your money? The same thing goes for marketing. Anybody ever have anything else they want to say about that inadequate market research? People dive into a business and then find out, maybe even invest in things, and they just aren't able to make it. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, for one, I always see it all the time. You got people that throw money out to different things and they don't even know if it's going to take. And works a lot like SEO. You see people advertise on a bunch of different things because they say, "Oh, get a banner ad. It's only $400." Well, yeah, it might be $400 and it doesn't rank and it doesn't do anything. I just took $400 and threw it in the trash. So yeah, you got to see all the things, like I'm on Now's, I have a banner ad there. The first thing I said, I want to see how many hits you get on your website. How many times does the average person click on the banner? Want to see what the banner's worth to spend thousands of dollars on the website. Just because you have a lot of members doesn't mean it provides me any value. So I think a lot of people need to do their research to see or in other words, if the juice is worth the squeeze.
True. Yeah. Spending money on the wrong things and going and whether it's advertising or, maybe you hire an employee too early and your expenses go out, you run out of money, that cash flow. Good stuff. Appreciate that, Mike. Yeah. The next one here is weak management, people, process, product, service. If you can't manage it, it's going to fail. Like, Mike, you're in Texas now. If you didn't have a good manager that you could count on in California, your business would fail in California.
Yes, absolutely. And the thing is, I have multiple. Depends on what division we're running because we have multiple divisions. But yeah, that's exactly the issue. A lot of people, otherwise I would have never moved to Texas. I love living in Texas, except right now it's too damn cold. But
is it really that cold? I'm just right down the road in New Mexico.
It is. It's frost across the street. I still see ice. Yeah, it is cold. And then when the wind picks up at night, oh my God, like knife going through you. It is extremely cold here.
From California, from Los Angeles.
Yeah, I'm used to shorts and T-shirt and a trucker's hat and cruise through LA. No, that isn't happening here. I'm bundled up like the North Pole the moment I go outside.
Are you hitting the
I'm
teens
not.
now?
No, it hasn't got to teens, but certain parts of, like, my daughter lives about 40 miles south of me, and she said it got down into like 17, 18 degrees.
That's
But
about
that's
what
when
it
you're off
gets
the
to at
Gulf.
this time of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Good stuff. Good
it's either
stuff.
freezing or you're cooking. It's one of the two.
Who's talking? Who's that?
That's Pete.
Oh, what's up, Pete? I didn't even
What's
see you on
up?
here. That's Pete from California, Mike.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Hey
big
Pete.
Pete.
Hey, how's it going?
Good buddy.
Yeah, Pete's from the old regime too. The old regime. We used to have our meetings back in the day. Pete came to quite a few of those, I believe.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, well, welcome, Pete. What neck of the woods are you in? You're not sharing your camera, but we're gonna give you the benefit of the doubt. Where you at, buddy?
I'm in Sacramento still.
Yeah.
I took a hiatus for a while and trying to get things back together again. I've reopened 2 of the 4 businesses. I'm working on redoing process serving again, and then I'm going to open up the 4th one as well. So I'm gonna ramp up here probably in about 30 to 60 days. And I don't have any sponsors, so I can't get into naps as of right now.
Did you get booted or did you
No,
just
I
let
haven't
it lapse?
tried, but I was told I needed sponsors. So
You
be
don't.
looking. No.
They
Nope.
Okay.
changed it, yeah.
That rule was removed last year.
Perfect. Then
I
I'll
know.
be
I know
putting in
because
for
I'm the
that.
legislative chair on that on the NAPS board.
All right. Well, then you'll be hearing from
And
me
if you
when
want, just put me down as a reference.
you're sure.
Positive.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate that.
No problem.
Good man, Pete. Pete served for me for a long time. He's a good server for sure. All right. All right. So good stuff. Moving on. So I really want you guys to take away from this, like how these businesses fail. It's the post that I put in the community. It said 23% fail within the first year, 48% fail within the first 5 years, and then 65.3 fail after 10 years. And these are some of the reasons why, and I related it to experiences I've had. And so weak management. If you this is the last thing I want to say about weak management. If you yourself are out serving, you're not working on your business, you're working in your business. And that's okay. That's okay, but just know that you need to take some time aside when you get back to the office to work on your business. Not while you're doing proofs, not while you're calling servers to get quotes, whatever, right? I'm talking about looking at your business, looking at your accounting, looking at your taxes, looking at how you're going to grow your business. How does your business look online here? This is managing your business, getting over your business. I'm not talking about just managing serves, but like actually working on your business. You need to understand that if you take your you want to hustle and stuff like that, but if you take your hands off the wheel and you're not managing it, you're not actually seeing where the money's going, like every dollar's where it's going, and you're not paying attention to what's happening, having your finger on the pulse of your business, you're going to lose it. Money, they say, is a cruel mistress. If you watch it, you pay close attention to it, you tell it where to go, you manage it will stay with you. If you don't pay attention to it, it will go in somebody else's bank. It's just the way it works. They say if you took all the money and distributed it to everyone in the world evenly, it would still end up in the same hands it is in today. Because money's going to go back to them because they're doing things that help promote their business and help their business stay alive. Okay, we can manage ineffective marketing. This is where you guys know that I focus a lot. Slow or no growth kills more companies than than all the other factors combined. Because as long as you can manage your money, you keep your money, right? If you're not growing, think about inflation. Every year, inflation gets worse and worse and worse. If you're still charging the same $50 for a serve, like Mike, I know you remember Diane Azevedo. She was charging $25 when I started with her, and she raised her prices to 30, and she lost 2 clients that she had had for like 40 years. And then I started serving. I raised my raise to 59, lost half of them. Raised it to 99, lost the other half. but it was like it was okay because I still had, you know, huge margins and I still had half of the attorneys in town. And I think if you understand your marketing, that you're always having to um, continue to focus on it and continue to optimize it, not just the SEO, right? That's great. The SEO is something that you want to constantly look at. Jessica in our community is a great example of that. She took the foundation that I teach inside the program, the Mighty Marketing program, and she's been a part of the lives that we do. And she just ran with it, you know, and I get an email every other day about, hey, can you change this, you know, HTML and change this and just optimizing it. So if you guys have questions, you can reach out to Jessica, but send her some money. Okay. She's doing all this for free, but she's very helpful about the SEO in the community for sure. Mike, is that your better half in there? Tell her I said hi.
Yes. Mike Reed says hi. Hi, Mike.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart. She's an angel. Cool. So yeah, companies. So ineffective marketing. Mike, you've bought companies, you've seen companies fail. What do you think is like the number one thing that like how do you I mean, you've already built these companies, Mike. How are you continuing to look at marketing?
Well, marketing is a business, as you know. You know, listen, you have to look at it multiple different ways. What is the cost? What do you expect? How much profit margin do you expect? So David does all our pricing. Like we just raised all our prices again. You know, every year you have to raise your prices. You know, some people go, oh, well, I don't want to lose it. Okay, well, let's just say that you raised your price 10% and you lost 10%. You're in the same boat. You got the same amount of business, but you're doing 10% less work and you're not having to work as hard. You know, so, I mean, different people look at it different ways, you know. But with me, it's like, you know, I try to see what gives me the biggest value. You know, if I'm going to spend $2,000 on something, how many jobs will I have to do, or to recoup that money, and how much do I need to make for it to be that it makes it worth my while? To spend $2,000 to get $2,200 is not worth my time and effort to follow up with it, see if it's worth. But if I spend $2,000, I make $10,000. Okay, hey, now I made $8,000. That's worth it. Let's do it. You know, so you have to evaluate it. And you have to do your research, like you said. You have to look up, see what your competition is, what are the keywords, what kind of marketing you do. Like I said in one of the group chats, that you know have over 400 domains, over 90 websites. I'm marketing, cross-marketing, and it may not even say my name on my company. It might say Los Angeles Processor. It's another website. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now in the corner, it's got direct legal in the corner, but meanwhile, it still all ties into me. You know, I want to capture. I had one person a couple of years ago, just right after the pandemic, said that they had done a particular search. I forget what it was, and that I was 7 of the 10 listings on page 1. They didn't all say my name on my company. They said different companies. Might have said Long Beach Process Server. Boom, I popped. You know what I'm saying? So cross marketing is really important. And then I always find that you can advertise in a lot of different things that do not provide you any benefit whatsoever. You know, you get some trade associations that, yeah, they sound big, but it doesn't really provide anything for you. I always tell people you should join all paralegal associations. You should go to their conferences. You should sponsor their conferences. I am a big sponsor of LSI in California, LPI now. They changed their name to Legal Professionals, Inc. And I am a fixture there. Everybody knows me. You know, they might be using my competition for their mandated because they're in the particular law firm and they're using this other competition on me. And that particular legal secretary goes, I would love to use you, but I can't because I'm mandated. That's no problem. You know, someday if you need anything, you have an issue, give me a call. I've had some that use another vendor and call me when they got problems and they say, I don't know how to fix this. And then they go back to their administrator and says, hey, listen, we use direct legal. This guy got it done for us, and they doesn't even do business with us. Or they leave those firms. They go to, and who's the first person they think of? Me. So now I've picked up a client because I built this friendship or relationship over a number of years. Now it's paid to me. You know, so it's important. Like we're going to go to CALA, Consumer Attorneys of Los Angeles Conference in Vegas later this year. It's going to cost us $8,000 to go, between the fees, the sponsorship, the setup, the travel, the marketing materials. If you really are going to go head in, you got to make sure you have your stuff together, and you got to make sure you have a plan of what you're marketing. What are you trying to sell? I have a lot of people that sell process serving. That's their top thing. So I do not sell process serving. Process serving is not the thing that I drive for. Yes, we do thousands of services a month, but that is not. I go after my auxiliary services. I'm not trying to fight to get the $100 job. I'm fighting to get the $500 job that my competition is not offering. Out-of-state deposition services, where I charge hundreds of dollars to do. That's the one I want. The record retrieval, when I copy thousands of records, that's the job I'm trying to market. That costs me maybe 80 cents to market versus the $8 click to get a piece of process for $90. So you got to decide what you want to spend your resources on. So I'm a big marketer of my auxiliary services, and I try to market things that my competition isn't doing or offering.
Yeah.
That's the key.
I like that. I like the thing that I like the most about that from a marketing perspective for people who are wondering is that when you, and I know you know this, Mike, just for everybody else, is like when you're running ads, the idea is you're trying to target people based on certain keywords, keyword phrases that people are searching. And if you're doing process server and everybody else is just blindly doing process server, you're going to be paying based on an auction. So you're going to end up paying more dollars per lead, period. That's just period, right? And whereas Mike, you're doing out of state deposition subpoenas. I mean, I guarantee you half the people on the call are like, "What's that?" Or like, "I know what a subpoena is, but what are you doing for it? Or don't you just send it out of state?" You know, Yeah, try that. Yeah, try sending a California subpoena to someone in Texas. See how that works.
Good luck.
So
Yeah.
good stuff.
And then the rules are different from state to state. You got to domesticate a subpoena from California to Texas. The rules, and it's not just state to state. Sometimes it's county to county. It's different from Bexar County to Harris County to Dallas County. I mean, it's crazy. I'm like, what are you talking about? The Uniform Act is very clear on what it is. Why are you making up your own rules? But you know what? I need to get it issued, so I'm going to do whatever hoops it needs to get through. And then you get some states that, okay, it's the rules the same way throughout the whole state. We follow the same thing. It's a hit and a miss.
Yeah, no, I love that, Mike. Yeah, and I've learned a lot from you over the years. And I went kind of all in on marketing when I started the website company and learning about SEO and stuff like that. And every time I get with you, we talk about how things have changed, and it's just constantly changing, constantly. And now with AI, it's made it a little bit easier, but people are leveraging too much on AI to a point where it's lost. And I myself, I don't know if everyone sees it, but I can point out right away when I see an article as AI, pretty much in the first couple sentences, because the personality is lost. It's like reading a fancy email that you get, that's been curated and looked over 100 times. You can use AI to get you started, and I teach that in the community, but you have to go through each paragraph and make it your own. May give it a little hook in the beginning and change it a little bit. Also, Google knows when it's AI. There's a couple tools that I teach about that you can use that will switch it up so that Google doesn't know that it's AI, but it's only a matter of time before Google catches up to that too. They have the best AI out there. Bard is by far has the most data out there. So marketing, if you guys fail to market your company, there's lots of different things for marketing. There's promotion, right? There's advertising. We kind of just throw it all under marketing, but if you start spending money on ads, it will very quickly become very important to you to understand how important keywords are. If we talk about SEO and your website and whatever, you're not going to feel the pain of that right away. You start spending money on ads, and all of a sudden you're going to either say, this is the two things I hear. I spent $500 and it just went in the trash. I got no leads from it. That's what I always hear. Mike, how many times have you heard that?
Lots.
I'm like, what? I'm like, well, first of all, you need to set a budget of 1,000. Like, start with 1,000. Like anything less than that, you're not going to know. Not going to have any feedback. And then also, they'll do like a blanket United States, process server, United States, or they'll say the market's too big, and so you'll do just one city, and then you could spend $1,000. You could spend, I don't care how much money you have, actually. You can spend it all in a day on Google if you don't do it properly.
Yep,
So
easily.
So the last thing is getting over leveraged. Now I don't know if this is a process server thing for too many people, but if you borrow too much money and you have to pay that payment every month, like if you buy a fleet of cars or something, that tends to be one of the ways that traditional business, just business in general, will go out of business. For process servers, it's probably more likely that you are owed money. This is something I dealt with early on, that you have lots of companies that owe you. They just owe you. They owe you thousands of dollars and you're still operating. You serve the paper, you sent the proof, and you still haven't been paid, and you're letting that go month after month after month. And there's no need for it. Like you can get prepaid. Nowadays we're in a prepaid market. Any attorney who goes, "What credit card online? What?" You just don't want to do business with them. Just tell them. For me, if it's a big firm, and for my gals that do the stuff, they know to, if it's an attorney and they know it's an attorney for sure, they will take it via email. But they're immediately sending a credit card for them. Hey, put a credit card on file with us. Let's establish a relationship. Let's get them in the portal so that they can start ordering inside the portal. So that's all I have to say. That's the training. We could talk about that stuff, or we can bring up other things. This is the mastermind. So what else do you guys want to talk about?
I want to bring up something that I
Yeah.
think is another key that needs to be brought up that is not brought up enough is automation. I mean, it's got to be the number one thing. I talked to a lot of small businesses, and they're creating. Even Tony Klein, who's been doing this over 50 years, he still uses PDF fillable that he got his own little thing and fills it in by hand, and then he's got to go into QuickBooks and fill this out, and then he's got to go over here to track the money in another thing. And I'm like, oh my God, are you, for the little bit of money it costs to use a software company? There's several out there. There's PST, there's Legal Connect, there's Paper Tracker. It goes on. There's lots of companies that won't cost you more than $30 to $50 a month. It's well worth it. It's not even a serve. It's half a serve for me, but to me, it's worth it. It's all in one. It has automation. You can take their payment. It lets them set up an account. We collect 98% of all our money every month, and we do millions. I don't be chasing no money down. Person's credit cards, and it automatically runs a pre-authorization. When they submit the job, it tells them how much it is. I don't know why anybody want to do extra paperwork. When we used to, at one time, used to have 41 employees, now we're down to 21. You know why? Automation has eliminated half their jobs because it does it all for me. Used to have 3-4 people do an account instead of one. People go, well, I'm small, I'm just starting out. Listen, you got to spend a little money to get some money. And I think the first thing you need to do is get professional software.
Yeah, I agree. And this is the thing they always say about CRMs. And then I'll hear from Jeff here. They say, what's the best CRM? And they say the one you use. Because most of the time people will have a CRM, they're like, it's too complicated, like Sales Confusionsoft, or they call it Confusionsoft, or Salesforce, because it gets so difficult, right? So if you're whatever software you're gonna use, that's why like I don't recommend Serve Manager anymore, but I still do to some people, because I'm like, listen, if you just want something super easy, Serve, you can't argue with Serve Manager. It's just really easy to use. I like PST. I like the folks that built PST more. Like I appreciate their integrity and things like that way more. And so that's why I promote them, and it's all gotten a lot easier with their web-based version. So that's who I recommend and what I teach you guys about in the community. But whatever you use, choose it that you're going to use it, Mr. Jeff.
Okay, thanks. Sorry, I'm trying to put my hand down. Okay, so cash flow and marketing or advertising rather, and I wanted Mr. Kearns to touch base on one of them. And I asked you, Mike, about my budget the other day, and you answered back. And so what do you tell people that, regardless of somebody being in business for 30 years, but has a cash flow issue? If I've got to send out a job of 15 subpoenas and I've got to pay an server in advance $720, and if I don't have that money, you're going to tell me I shouldn't be in business, probably, number one. Or then number two, if I have a $300 a month budget for advertising and I want to do ads, where do I go with that? And Mike, you should let Kearns answer, because you already told me 400 some odd dollars to $1,000. So I'm going to shut up and listen.
Yeah, I love it. Go ahead, Mike.
Okay, well, in the budget, you only when you have a budget. First of all, I have it that my ads turn off usually on the weekend. My ads usually run Monday through Friday because that's when most people are working. People are not, yes, there's the pro pers on Saturday and Sunday, but that's really not my key demographics to get pro pers. My thing is to get law firms. So you're gonna have to set a budget. If you're doing 300, that's $10 a day. It's not really a lot of money. I know it sounds like $300, but when you stretch it to a 30-day, that means depending on what the key word is, let's just say it was the word process serving. That's $8. Okay, I guess you get one hit. That's the end of it. You just use your budget for the day. So that's why you got to try to find keywords where you can get 6, 8, 9, 10 hits where basically the keyword costs less than $1 a hit. Granted,
How
process
do I do
serving is
that?
expensive. So yeah, so that's why you try to target in an area. So let's just say I'm going to use a city. I live in Katy. Okay, so Katy, Texas. I might use the word process server in Katy, Texas, or Katy, Texas process server. That was what the hone word I'm going to hone into. Instead of the global thing of saying Texas process server, which might cost me $7 a click to get because it's too generic. Where if you're trying to do SEO or geo targeting is what we call it. I think that's what Michael would call it too.
Yeah.
Geo targeting. I'm targeting a specific sector that I want to market. That way, that my money is used only for that. And then you stretch out from then. As you get more work, you can say, okay, I'm going to stretch out a little bit more. And then you start throwing money out when you're really starting to make it. Now, as to collecting money from people, we used to do that at one time. We were owed $750,000 at all times for filing fees, and then you get burned, and then this law firm dissolves, or they go bankrupt, and then I'm out $40,000, and $40,000 on filing fees just went in the trash. I decided that, when the automation started coming in 2018, 19, even though we had software already, but the automation part of the collecting the money with credit cards and ACHs and all that start really evolving just before the pandemic. When the pandemic hit, I got paid aid out of it. I mean, it was the greatest thing for me. Not to the sense that people were getting sick and dying, but I was already fully automated. I was ready for it. So when people were still doing pickups at law firms and going collecting service of process and filings, I didn't need it. I was just like FedEx. Go online, place an order, upload your documents. I'm able to do it. I picked up, our company grew 23% during the pandemic, so because of automation. So what I'm saying is you're going to have to force it, especially affiliates. I'm going to say this because affiliates are known for this. Affiliates will milk you for everything they got. They'll make you wait 60, 90 days. We don't. I have everything automated through a company called Bill.com. I have it set up. You send me an invoice. I put in the thing. I approve it. I drop it. I drag and drop it in Bill.com, and it automatically sends it electronically right into your checking account and gives you the invoice, emails you the invoice of what invoices I'm paying. That's to pay my affiliates. One is if you take care of your affiliates, the affiliates will take care of you. If I call up Jacob Davis and say, Jacob, I need this done today, whatever you do, Mike, no problem. I'll get it done. I'll take care of it for you. He's not going to worry about getting paid because he knows I'm going to pay it. And people will jump. Affiliates will say, oh, I can't do it. I'm sorry. I have no one available. They might have someone available, but they know they're not going to get paid for 60 days. They don't want to drop their shorts to do something that they're not going to get paid for. So the faster you pay, the better you are. And yes, you got to find out what account's worth to even offer a line of credit. Basically, because that's what you're doing. You're being the banker. You're taking the line of credit. When I was paying lines of credit to always have cash flow, and hey, I got to pay payroll of $50,000 this week. What am I going to do? This is ridiculous because I spent all my money paying out the courts for filing fees. You got to get to a point. There's firms out there. We got a firm that hates their legal support company in California. I'm not going to mention them by name. And they don't have to pay anything to that firm for 180 days from the day of invoice. They want me to hold on to that. That's what I'm not interested in. But we're going to give you millions of dollars of work. I understand. I don't wish to play the bank. Thank you. I'll pass. Thank you.
Yeah.
So what they do, they signed up for an account, and they're giving me work, but I'm collecting as I go from them. So what they're doing is they're giving me the rush, drop your short stuff that they know I'm going to get done but they know they also have to pay now. Anything that's routine and stuff that's not as important. So if I make $10, $12, $15,000 a month, but I'm collecting as I go, I'm good with that. Than getting $200,000 a month, and I have to be the bank for the next 6 months. So I'm going to hold $1 million on the hopes I'm going to get paid. Don't want it.
Right.
And
Sounds
that's
like a
you
major
just-
collection company I used to do work for out here.
Right. Collection companies are very notorious for doing things like that. You know,
Yeah.
it's
So-
just not
So you-
worth it.
are you-
Oh, I have.
Let's do I love all the engagement. Mike, that's some great feedback. Jeff, I would just want to follow up with something Mike told me when I first started. Actually, I don't know if he remembers this, but getting a line of credit with a bank, and like bank like Chase, where it's not necessarily you're gonna put the money out, but you're gonna get the money back. And sometimes the line of credit, 30 days is no problem for them, right? So you have to shell out like first appearance fees in California for a while. When I was going and writing checks and going doing court filings in person, we would have to bring a check. And then that check's going to hit my account for defendants, $4,000, hits my account for a complex case. And then it ends up being where I have to just sit on that, just wait to get paid from the attorney. That wasn't the best model. And if you do credit cards, then you end up having to pay the credit card fee just to float the money from me to him and it just doesn't make any sense. It's just and that's why I ended up not doing Legal Connect, not to beat up on them, but that's why I ended up not doing them, because they wanted me to float everything. So, but Jeff, yeah, if you're having to shell out $700 in fees, that's a normal thing. I would not say, you said that you shouldn't be in business. I would not say that. I would not say that. Everyone's at a different level. And when we have ebbs and flows and stuff like that, I would actually just talk to the server and say, hey, this is a new client who, wants to pay by check. You already know who they are. Here they are, or whatever. And I'll for sure pay you as soon as I get paid. And I'll give you all this work. Are you okay with that? Let them make the decision. Don't assume that people will say no. Like if you ask me that, because I know you and because we built a relationship, I would do that for you. I'd say, okay, yeah, I'll give you net 30, But like Mike said, you don't want to bet the farm on it either. If you get a big collection client that's going to send you a lot of work, great. But and Diane, mentioned Diane earlier. She was one of the ones that helped me get started, actually gave me work, affiliate, right? Well, when she died of cancer, and I won't go into the whole story, but when she died, I took over most of her customers, and she had I you know and I was responsible for making sure all her affairs and stuff. She put me down, and so I went through and I saw all the people who owed her money. And I won't mention their names here, but they're the biggest companies in California, and they would send her a check for $300 or $500 a month, but their bill would be $800, $1,000, $2,000 a month, and they were just basically paying just enough so she wouldn't cut them off, and I immediately cut them off, And I think a lot of people it rub people the wrong way, because they're like, well, why are you hating on affiliates? Affiliates. It's like, well, I'm not hating on them. It's just like you got to pay. Everybody's got to pay. So, and Mike has taught me a lot in that. And I've
Well,
had,
and of course, there's some big companies out there that would owe $7,000, $8,000, $9,000 in a month, and they put all their eggs in one basket with this one company, so it's 80% of their business because it's affiliate. And I see it all the time in all these different groups showing that all of a sudden I got cut off with no answer, and they'll call up and say, "I owe you $8,000. I'll send you $6,500 a day, payment in full." But you owe me $8,000. Well, if you want to check today, it's $6,500, but I'll pay you in full. So basically, you just got cut $1,500. And if you're desperate to make your house payment, you go, okay, I'll do that. Okay, I just screwed them out of $1,500. And they do that times 100 affiliates. Guess what? You're putting thousands in your pocket for this company. And they keep taking this abuse over and over. And eventually someone gets smart and says, there's just no way I can do this. I'm losing.
yeah, but Mike, you're a great example of the thing with, I don't remember exactly what it was. I think it might have been Parambo, but you were telling me how, he'll give you a really low fee, like to serve something for you. And so that relationship is worth a lot of money to you. a lot of money, like not to just monetize him because I know you guys are buddies, but I'm saying like having this network that we have here, like if you understand how important it is, not just here, but in on naps and wherever you build relationships with people, it makes you money. So when you're serving for someone, let's call it XYZ company, you're serving for XYZ company, um, you're the valuable part in that relationship because without you, it doesn't get served. Yeah, they're doing marketing or whatever. They're a huge behemoth company. But if you don't serve it, or if you serve it poorly, or you don't communicate, they lose their customer. Like you are the person who the boots on the ground that's making it happen. And so, I teach in the community like getting your own clients, getting your own attorneys, getting your own paralegals, being the backup. I don't know if you've heard much about that, Mike, but when I did the challenge, I basically called attorneys and was like, "Hey, I'm pretty sure you already have a process server. Keep using them, fine. But I was wondering, just in case you needed a backup, if I could send you my rate sheet, and just doing that at scale." And a lot of people are getting a lot of results from it, because you're only as good as your last serve. I don't know who I heard that from first, but I know for sure heard it from you, Mike. You're only as good as your last serve. You could serve for like 20 years, really well for that whole 20 years and just like made them so much money. They showed up to court. There was a proof of service on file. You made them look like a rock star. And then one day, it might have even just been one of your servers drops the ball. They fire you and hire somebody
Mhm.
else. That's crazy.
Well, I think Jacob had it one time. What is your network? Is your net worth or something like that? I can't remember. I think it was Jacob that actually had that comment, and that really is true. You know, I'm big because I got a lot of individual affiliates that might be 1-2 man that took care of me in this sector. It takes a collaborative effort of all these things. And we were talking about this even at Cows Pro conference and board meeting recently, that we need to try to promote to get new process servers, because people like me who've been in the business, almost 40 years is going to retire soon. Now what? Now you took me out of the market with all the skill set, but you got to train someone below you to say, hey, this is worth venturing in the future to make a living from, and that's why I try to train a lot of different people in a lot of different areas. Hey, listen, if you have problems, you don't know what to do, give me a call, I'll tell you how to do it. I would rather you ask me than do it wrong or get discouraged that, hey, I don't want to do this.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. No, I love it. I love it. So what other topics, Jeff, was that what you were looking for? Did you have any,
Well, I do have a two-part follow-up. One is, so you're hinting to I'd be okay if I used my line of credit for these Google ads for per click, number one, and then number two, I'm willing to spend $1,000 a month for 3 months and try it, but what type of return on investment am I going to see? Will I see results? I just want the phone to ring and I'll do the job from there.
Pay-per-click varies depending on what the keyword is that you're marketing in what sector. It's variation. I spend, I don't know, $6,000 a month on different words for different things, and I probably make 3 times that amount for myself.
I don't have the knowledge.
But see, I get it, but at the same time, it's even though I got that one job and I get that one law firm that searched, I got an account recently that did some kind of search, one of my keywords I couldn't remember, and didn't think it was anything big. Sent us a couple pieces of paper. Now all of a sudden I'm making $5,000 a month from that one account. All because he decided to try something, did some search and found me, and here I am. It sometimes you don't even know. It could be that one-time client. It could be a client that could really generate a lot of income per year, that all of a sudden something you thought that you spend $1,000 a month on something that all of a sudden now you're making $5,000 a month. So trying to amateurize it or see what the true SEO sometimes is very hard to really see what you're getting. I always ask people when they call, hey, we've never used you before. Also in our software, it says, how did you find us? Now granted, obviously the standard answer is the internet, Google. Great. I even got to the next thing. I'll send a survey out and say, what did you type to find us? I want to know what the keyword that you typed in that you found our company, and earn a $25. I'm going to pay them $25 gift card to tell me what you searched to find me.
Yeah.
Because that's valuable insight. Or take a survey. There's all kinds of gimmicks and giveaways that we give away. We actually, I don't know if you guys ever heard of Cutco knives. They're one of the most expensive knives in the world.
They're the best.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've sold
We
those.
we ordered hundreds of them, and we spent a lot of money, and it's got our logo on the knife, and we gave them away at Christmas to select clients. Oh my God, they love the knife. They go, "This is the best knife. Why'd you send them?" "Oh, you've been great. I really appreciate you. Always recommended us. I just wanted to think of you. Let me give you the gift." I've given it away at paralegal. Paralegals love it. You see the shiny knife with the white bone handle on it, and the logo on it, and it comes in a special box, and I mean, it's
Yeah.
it cost me a couple $100, but I got so much out of it to give it away. So I always, in marketing, here's another thing. Always give things away that's not going to be used one and done, or it's a novelty that they're going to put in a drawer and throw away. I give away things that are kind of constantly be used. I give special coasters. I give special cups. I give special thermoses, mouse pads. I mean, those are the kind of things, people buy their 30-cent pen that writes like crap. No one's going to use it. You just took 30 cents and threw it in the trash. You're going to have to spend some money on certain quality things if you want to try to. The big thing lately, there's been a big hype, is these electronic pouches. So what it is to keep all your electronic cords and your plug-ins, and it's in a neoprene bag. It almost looks like a body glove surf material, which is a little zipper pouch, and it's got your logo all over it. The legal secretaries, even attorneys, are going crazy over it, because then they put all their wires, their chargers, their adapters, all in this little zipper patch, and it's got direct legal all over this thing. And I got them in different colors depending on. The other one is a big thing lately that we just went to a conference, which is where they put their driver's license on the back of their phone, and it's got that little rubber thing where they can put credit cards that slides on the back of it. I forget what it's called, but
The
that's another big thing.
RFID security devices.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are awesome.
Yeah, so I mean, there's just all kinds of things. You got people are using mobile chargers, but they got their logo on it that plugs in their car and it says direct legal on the side of it. I mean, you got to always be marketing, or as they would say in Glengarry Glen Russ, always be closing. I'm always trying to be selling something.
Yeah.
And a client goes, "I know that I'm not that important. I had a client the other day say, "I know I'm not that important. I'm a small client." Listen, whether I make 100 or I make $1 million, it doesn't make a difference. All clients get treated the same. And they say, "I really appreciate it because I feel like I'm an important client." And I go, "Well, that's the way you're supposed to be. What can I do for you?" It's a service we provide. And that's how you have to look at it.
Yeah. Love it. Love it. Love it. Yeah.
Can I
So
reaffirm something that you've taught me in the past, Mike Reed?
yeah, go for it.
So in response, Jeff, when you're looking at Google, and I've done this before, and I spent $1,200, but my kickback on the $1,200 was only about $230 or $240. You have to look at the analytic words. And there was a lesson that Mike gave a long time ago about doing an analysis on what words you want to use when you're trying to pick your SEO words for advertising. And I took the analysis. I spent about 4 or 5 hours doing it. But when I took the keywords that I found and put them into, as you said, $10 a day worth of advertising, but I only did the advertising twice a week. I ended up with enough work out of that twice a week advertising to keep me going for about 1.5 or 2 years solid and pay all my bills and everything. Now, I, as a figure, would say do not go over 5% of your income for your advertising budget, because if you do, you might be spending more money than necessary for that advertising. If it doesn't kick back a good return on the investment, then you need to change where you're doing the advertising. Google hasn't always been prevalent in that field, but it does work. And then once you start with Google, remember that anybody that's connected and can pull up your company out of Google is going to start calling you, and your phone is going to start ringing off the hook about how we can place you #1 and how we can do this and what we can do. And they're going to want to charge you hundreds of dollars to do it. And I almost bit on one of them until I figured out what they were doing. And then I did it myself. Now,
Yeah.
I did a $5 ad on Craigslist one year, and I only did it twice. And I stayed busy for almost 7 months straight and
Yeah.
forgot to re-up it. So there's just a couple of suggestive things that you can look at there. But I believe in the old learning classes or the old learning knowledge base that Mike Reed has, there's some information in there that you can use on how to look up and how to analyze what words to use for SEO.
No, I appreciate that. It's a understanding the different keywords. I was going to pull up the lesson on it we have inside the community that goes over the Google console and understanding being able to pull up the, so you can actually see what words are working for your ads and on your website. But great tip. One thing I want to say before I forget, Mr. Jeff, I would not, this is my opinion, I would not use a credit card or a line of credit to run ads. Okay, I would use that for your maybe your operational expenses. That's just me. Unless you have money in the bank, this is a general rule of thumb. Unless you have money in the bank to pay for the credit card that you're using, then don't use it. You never want to get that. And the reason why is because if you have to float that credit card or that line of credit for 30 days,
Interest.
yeah, the
Interest.
interest can be 25% or crazy different amounts. And that's
Right.
how you get over leverage. That was the last pillar we just went over. Getting over leverage, you don't have the cash flow to keep up, then you're really in trouble. Yeah.
You got to get me out of this depression.
Yeah, you're in the right place. This is where you start, this is where, but we've talked about a lot of things like Pete mentioned about the marketing, about how he did ads. Mike Kernhair has just dropped some major value. If you guys have found this valuable, go join the community. It's free. Okay. It's free. FREE capital, right? Free. Go join it. And what we're doing here on Zoom is what you were doing inside the community and chat. Jeff knows he was the engagement leader for last week. We got a lot of folks on here that may not actually be in the community. So I put a link in the chat. You can click the link and go request to join. One thing I want to mention then, well, first of all, if you have something you want to say, raise your hand. There's a little thing at the bottom, raise your hand. Just click that, and then I'll immediately just call on you to speak unless there's a whole bunch of hands raised. Okay. So, because we want to keep things, as the community grows, we want to keep things in order. So, someone posted something. I didn't think that this would happen, but I was advertising on the directory. I did some free postings, or put people on there for free, so that attorneys would start using it. As it grows, because I know some people noted a few of the cities it's ranking in, it's starting to rank on the first page of Google, which is great. It's a slow growth, right? But I figured I'd put people on there so that maybe if an attorney or paralegal finds it, they will find people that I've kind of pre-vetted a little bit that I know are process servers in the industry, and those people will get free work, even though they're not members of the directory yet. And someone posted something saying, you can be removed from the directory, this free directory. And I know her, it's Gina. She's been around for a long time, and I got no hard feelings against her. I know she's been serving forever. And so if that's you and you want me to remove you from the free version of the directory, I'm happy to do it. If you guys are not on the free version, you can't afford the directory, or you just don't want to afford the directory yet till it ranks in your city, that's completely understandable. Just message the girls on school, either Edge or Mary. Edge, are you still on?
Yes, Mike.
Wake up, Edge.
I'm like,
So Edge, if somebody messages you on school and says, hey, can you add me to the free version? You can add them to the draft listings.
oh, yes.
Yep. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, I can
You-
hear.
And you understand that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because currently you don't get listed unless you pay, and unless one of the girls scrape you from one of these other websites, right? The process serving pre-vetted websites, right? So, but I'm happy to promote anybody and everybody, especially if you're a member of this community and you're contributing. Okay. All right. So, but I do believe it's going to end up being the number one, because we're not going to stop and we're going to keep going and we're going to promote professionalism and marketing and growth. So I'd love to hear from anybody who's been doing the Be the Backup, and how that's working for you guys. Thursdays is where we dedicate the entire mastermind to the Be the Backup sales script for getting new customers. But in my experience, it's the fastest way to grow your company. If you already have a big company, I'm not sure that it'll apply. You might have to be more creative. Like I know Mike has done some stuff with like paralegal events and like sponsoring luncheons and stuff like that. That's like taken to the next level. But just picking up the phone and meeting these people, letting them know that you're on the map, getting in their email inbox with your rate sheet has proven to be the most effective thing. So I'm curious, does anyone have any feedback they want to share? Remember, raise your hand if you can. I don't know how it works on the phone, if you guys can do that.
Yeah, you can.
Thanks, Jeff. Nobody, is anyone making calls? Do I need to chastise you? My people, my Be the Backup people. All right, I'm gonna call you out. I'm gonna start calling you out. Who am I gonna call out? Let's see. Might Be the Backup people. Who are my Be the Backup people? Dun, 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 dun. I know one for sure. Jessica. Jessica's
Hey, um, I've been looking into, there's a national association for property managers, I think. So I've been going down and making a list of contacts from there. I haven't been calling them yet. I'm just compiling my list so far.
okay, okay. And for those people that are new on here, how is using the Be the Backup working for you so far?
It's going good. My second round after I got my website up and everything, I got 2 clients out of it, like the first week that we started this recent challenge. So it doesn't take a lot of time and, just practice out before the call in the mirror to your dog, your son, whatever. It's really worth the time you put into it. It's free advertising in the end. So
Yeah. The visual of you selling your son is actually pretty funny. You're like,
no, I mean like speaking to him, like yeah, selling it. Yeah, like you said.
I mean, we say
Yeah,
sales, it really is like the sales script that we have for the community, but it's really not salesy.
right.
It's really easy just saying, how's it been for you or anybody else that wants to contribute? Like, because I think it's probably the most underrated thing that, like, if somebody was like struggling, it's the thing I would say to do. And I will say from real estate, I know a lot of people will have this immediate objection of like, because because they might be an introvert or because they might have called people before and they're like, I don't want to be a salesperson or whatever. They tend to not do it and then say it doesn't work. It's like you can't say it doesn't work if you don't do it, if you don't try it. You got to try it before
Yeah, and
you.
a lot of people are worried about getting negative responses or somebody being mean to them, and that's really like for me, it's been like 5%. So
Yeah, you've had a couple of people.
everybody's nice, yeah,
Yeah,
except
which
for those food people with their own issues. It had nothing to do with me.
yeah, and
I've been married for 26 years. I'm used to somebody telling me no all the time.
you're like, okay, fine, fine. Sean, have you been doing the Be the Backup script?
Yeah, I've made a couple phone calls. I mean, not nearly as much as I need to or should be doing, but
Yeah,
I've gotten some positive feedback.
yeah.
I picked up a client that I think is going to be giving me some regular work. They handle judgment enforcement for like a collections company. So the main issue is one of their attorneys just died unexpectedly. So that's
Oh,
kind of been on hold for a few minutes. But yeah, they sent me like I think 13 jobs the first day I started working for them. So and I farmed out most of those. So
well, the idea that you outlast your competition is something that a principle that I learned just accidentally, and I guess in a way, people who are local to where I used to be outlasted me. So somebody who I send a lot of the work to where I used to serve, he came after me, but he also is there after me. You know what I mean? Like if you be the backup and you get in their email inbox and you have their emails so you can follow up with them, there's only a matter of time before they use you. It's only a matter of time before they say, you know, before they come around and say, hey, I'm not sure if we used you before. I see you here in our inbox. Could I send you over a server for this city that maybe their server doesn't do, or their server's out of town, or their server died, or right? Like the list goes on of what could happen. There was one server I served her bankruptcy papers. No, I served her eviction papers, bankruptcy papers, and divorce papers, all at the same address. And she was my competition girl process server. I don't even know if she's still in business, but she and so it's just a matter of outlasting them sometimes. So I love the feedback on the be the backup. If you guys go inside the community, I know a lot of you guys being shy now because you think there's a lot of people here, but I go in these real estate masterminds like this, but they have like 1,000 people in there and everybody's trying to get business or whatever and sell something. But here I love the process serving community. I love every single person in our community is just like a go giver and giving all that they can. And, think about it. We got a couple hundred people in there now, and we don't really have any arguments. We don't have people trying to backbiting people I don't see any of that stuff. You go in some of these Facebook groups and you would think we were like in the boxing industry or something, It's like calm down, relax. So, I'm pretty excited about the if you guys go inside the community and click on the calendar, you'll see that we have for a whole month, every Tuesday for about 4 weeks, we're gonna go over hiring VAs. I'm gonna actually hire some more VAs for my company, and so I'm gonna teach you how I do it. And in the process of hiring these VAs, there you may see some because you're welcome to come on Zoom. They're all gonna come into Zoom and they're all going to come on here and they're going to read through scripts and you're going to hear them. And you can basically, I want to know if they're English, can they show up on time? Do they have good technology? Right. So I'm going to break all that down for you and how I hire them. And then you guys can come check it out. So Mike, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you coming. It's an honor to have you. Love to have you in the community too.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. You provided a lot of important information.
More than helping. Anytime I can help anyway, just let me know. I have to jump off to another meeting.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you. Well,
Talk to
guys, you guys are taking action. You're making things happen. If you're new to the community, go inside the community, introduce yourself. I created a start here course just so you could see. Let me just share it really quick. I'm going to share it. If you guys have anything else, go ahead and raise your hand as I do this. Okay. And I'll make sure to get you. So inside the community, if you click on the calendar tab above, you can actually see I think I have some interviews today actually. I forgot about. So if you click here that you can register for the Zoom links and then you can see every Tuesday starting here or on the 21st we're going to start going over virtual assistant hunting. If you need help inside the office, they're awesome. So last thing I want to tell you is the classroom right here. You can go in and go to the start here. And I really have taken my time to give you step by step, if you're new to the community, everything, the 10 steps I think you need to do before you do anything else. If you're brand new, definitely this market research, but going through just getting legit, making sure if you want to know what your local state's requirements are, you can click on state requirements and it'll take you can look at your state. For many of the states, I've already made a full video explaining the laws in that state, how to be a process server there, what are the laws regarding process serving there in every single state in the country. Okay. Including your state. Okay. Insurance, talking about insurance, the different options. Of course, we have a website builder. We actually have a no setup fee plan, which is only $27 a month. You can get a website, pre-built process server websites that are just awesome. A few of you guys I know have them. Okay. And when you're ready to have one built for you, like a $10,000 website for $500 setup fee, we build them for you as well. This is the Be the Backup script. If you want this, you just click on Master Playbook. It'll give you all the scripts that I have, my VA scripts, my process server scripts. If you want to get new process servers in different areas, my scripts for calling attorneys and becoming the backup, right? There's a full training at level 6, but you can access the playbook with all the scripts and everything before you reach engagement level 6 on the leaderboard. Okay. Favorite tools. I just have a huge list of tools that I use. Some of these are affiliate links. Eventually they'll all be affiliate links, but the idea here is not about me making money on this. This is about, these are all the tools I actually use. Like iPostal, if you want to, you got to go check it out. But these are by far, and as you go through the courses, you'll learn that these are ones I actually use, and I teach you how to use them, like Pipedrive, for example, for prospecting, right? Getting verified is about getting on the list, of course. Like I mentioned today, I'm not going to tell everyone this, but you guys that are active in the community, we will put you give you a draft listing for free if you want. Eventually, the draft listings are going to go to only the counties, not the statewide listing pages. We're going to remove people who aren't, obviously paying members once we get big enough. Google listing, this here, I highly recommend you go to this post and you come here and you get some Google reviews. Guys, Google is one of the most important things that you can do and to get business. And so just come here, click on somebody's link, leave them a review, and then go and post your review, your link as a reply to their link so that they can go leave you a review as well. Okay. We're professionals. We use each other. That's just the way it works. So getting engaged, go introduce yourself, of course. I teach you about the engagement points if you're new to the community. The mastermind, that's where we're at right now. We want people to be plugged in so you can register if you haven't already. Google will give you a link that allows you to just log in right into the meeting without having to register every time. So if you're having to register every time, it's because you're not given an email that's going to send you the reminders, right? With the actual link to log in. And of course, if you're not making $10,000 a month, this is your call to action. Go do it. There's no reason why you can't make $10,000 a month in this business. That's the baseline. Okay, that's where you start. Like that's when it becomes a business. If it's not making $10,000 a month, then you're just paying your grocery bill. Okay, that's really, you're just paying your grocery bill, your cell phone, and your gas. Okay, and I know if that's the case, I'm not. I hope you know that that is not me disparaging remarks to you. That is me saying you can do it. Let me teach you. Let me help you and support you along the way. In the beginning of this meeting, I played a video from Jim Rohn where he says, "Why not you?" Right? Why not now? Why not you? And that's what this is all about. So Jeff, you got your hand up? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, Jessica did first, but I'll ask real quick. So Google reviews, I have 3 locations for Google My Business, but is there a way to have the Google reviews reflect on all of them if someone leaves them at number one location?
Yeah, no, it's one. Look at it like McDonald's that has a different staff, or a restaurant that has a different staff in each location. That's how they treat it. So yeah, everyone has different reviews. But you could always alternate it, It would take longer to grow, but my opinion would be just have one place and you can have you want to have multiple Google listings, of course. But also, you don't want a review for somebody who you hired a server in the northern area, and then they're leaving you a review in this other area. You kind of do want it localized, really.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Good stuff. And Jessica, you had your hand up?
I have a question. I'm going to ask it for Jeff's benefit. If you had $1,000, would you invest it in boosting your SEO on your website or putting it into ads?
$1,000. So I'd love to know what everyone else thinks. I will say for me, if I just had 1,000, right? Because my mind is like all these different things I would want to do. But if I had just $1,000, I wouldn't just spend it all in one place, actually. I would make sure that my website was SEO is good, but SEO is the long game, right? You're gonna add SEO, you're gonna add blog posting, you're gonna add all this stuff over time. I would actually take, because 1,000 is not much. personally, what I would do is I would take that 1,000 and I would go make bandit signs. I go to supercheapsigns.com and for $250 buy 300 signs. It's a lot of signs. It might be 100 signs. I don't know, but supercheapsigns.com. The keyword is bandit signs. It's like it sounds. And like you did, Jessica, actually, you did those. And put those up in front of the courthouse, put them up on streets where there are attorneys. That's only what 100 to but around $200. So now you take the rest of it, you make some flyers, make them colored flyers like yellow or something like that with black writing, make it simple so you can print it. If you want to get some fancy ones, you can go spend a couple hundred on some fancy ones and actually go into law offices in person and go into places where attorneys are frequenting, like where there's cork boards. What I'm talking about right now is guerrilla marketing, and it's what everyone should do when they first get started. It's something I haven't done for a long time, but it's what I did when I first got started. I would buy shirts that say process server on them, and I would go inside the courthouse and I would get, or wherever there's attorneys, and I would hand them out. The best thing to do if you only have 1,000, make sure you keep some of that money and actually just be the backup script. Call people, get in people's email inboxes, and try to build relationships with people that are going to turn into business in the future. Unfortunately, when we're prospecting for 90 days, 6 months away from today in the future. So I would save a good portion of that 1,000 for a rainy day, right? To pay other servers or to, if you really want to run Google ads, you got to kind of be a fat cat. Like, in my opinion, you got to think like Mike. He's given a lot of great opinions. Mike is I would defer to Mike on a lot of marketing things, but Mike's rich. Mike's gonna be mad at me for saying that, but it's true. Mike's rich. He's like I'm pretty good off. He's rich. And so if before you start to compare yourself to someone like him, I would say you don't need 400 domains. You need one domain, one website that ranks well in your local area. You have good reviews on a local Google My Business listing. And if you're going to run ads, one thing he said that's really powerful is run ads on a keyword that nobody else is running ads for. And you can see that on the ad platform, like private investigation. I don't know how competitive is that in one little town outside of a big town. You might get all the leads for that one and they might only be $2 each. You know what I mean? Like, don't try to go up against, if you're buying cattle, you're not going to the place where the auction where the richest guy goes, because he's going to bid up every single cow that you want to buy to way too expensive, right? There are a lot of new neighbors that don't have $1,000, or a lot of new members that don't have $1,000 a month to advertise. I wouldn't, like I said, I would not spend money on advertising other than having a website, getting your Google My Business, getting some decent business cards so you could put them under the paperclip on every attorney's office you serve, right? Make them impactful. Vista prints like $15. So that's the thing about process serving. Let me back it up actually. When I first started my school community, it was a real estate community. Do you know what the little MAA stands for before Mighty Process Server after school? Mighty Agent Academy. I started as an agent academy because I know real estate. I've become a top producing, multi-million dollar real estate agent in Florida, and I did it in just 2 years. I'm like, I could teach people this stuff. But then I started teaching it, and I realized a lot of these real estate agents I was teaching, they couldn't even pay their rent. And I'm like, and in order to be a real estate agent or any kind of real estate investor, you have the horizon for which success like the law of the harvest. We'll call it the law of the harvest is a long harvest. You have to start prospecting today, and you won't make any money. I will say you won't make any money for 90 days because of the way real estate works. Process serving doesn't work that way. I could call today and get a process server. This is why I love this industry. This is why I was like, I want to go back to this. Sean, dude, goodbye. Thank you, sir. You're awesome. Appreciate you. So that's why I love process serving, because literally anyone, people tell me like, how can I make money? I'm like, well, start serving papers. You got to admit, those of you guys have been doing it for even just a few months, but you're new. You've never made money like this. If you've found any kind of success, you've never made more money than working, you might work for somebody else for a while. You start serving papers, you're making like $5,000-$10,000 a month. You ain't working at no restaurant or fast food place making that kind of money. It ain't happening. Right. So
No way.
that's why I like process serving for people. And if you want new business, pick up the phone, make a list. There's actually California, the state bar list is online public. You can pull the whole list. You can call everybody. And like Don says in the chat, answer your freaking phone. Oh my gosh. I started this new dumpster company with my son. I started it. Now he's here. I'm teaching it. It's where you rent out dumpsters. It's a roll off dumpster business. He doesn't want to serve paper. So I said, let me see if I can do something a little different, but kind of similar. And so we rent out dumpsters. And just in the last couple of days, we've taken in $1,200 just in rental fees. And you can see here, this is just in this is less than a couple weeks. It's always blurry. Right there, the first one says 1,200. That's the next payout tomorrow, and we're just dropping off dumpsters, And process serving is better because you don't have to pay for dumpsters. Once you have some money, you can invest in other things, and you can. But it's the same concept, right? You do marketing, localized marketing. You become a member of your community, and you start calling people who want dumpsters. You start calling businesses that might use dumpsters. Let me show you this analogy, and then we're going to wrap it up. If you have something else, raise your hand, okay? Uh, raise your electronic hand, your Zoom hand. Okay. Okay. So if you have a business, there's two different types of customers, and I could do a whole masterclass on this. I've paid $10,000 for a coaching program teaching me about this to buy businesses, right? And then market them. So you either B2B, which is your business to other businesses, or B2C, which is your business to customers, consumers. So where are you going to start? Okay. Your website's going to get a lot of B2C, a lot of your Google My Business and your website, a lot of B2C. You will get some businesses that way, but the guaranteed way for you to start getting new business at some point is B2B, because B2B is not upset that you're reaching out to them. You reach out to some rando on Facebook via chat messenger, they're like, this is my personal profile. Like, why are you like, no, I'm not getting divorced. It sounds funny to even mention it, right? But that's what some people try to do. They try to sell their business to customers directly by prospecting to them on Facebook. Of course, most process servers aren't going to do that. We just don't do that. So the only thing you're left with is B2B. So focus on the B2B, focus on reaching out to them, prospecting to them, to attorneys, to paralegals, show up in there and be professional and be the person that's going to answer their phone. Love it. Big Pete, what's up, man?
So, probably more of an answer that you're looking for is put 300 aside for gas and put 200 aside or 300 aside for your fees, because you're always going to get that one person that says, no, I need you to pay me up front. Like right now, I would be saying, yeah, I need to be paid up front because I'm restarting again. Okay.
You need
I'm
that
not
money too.
collecting credit cards from people at all. Majority of my work that I've gotten, their check comes with the work in the mail. Okay. Get the money with the work. Get the check with the work. Remember too, when you collect a check with the work, in California, if they bounce a check, you get to go after 3 times of that check. In the event of a credit card situation, if they want to pay you with a credit card, okay, you can tell them, send me the money on Zelle, send me the money on PayPal, send me the money here, and bill them the 5% fee there and collect the money. All that money comes back to you. But if you spare 50% of that money for the marketing and keep 50% of it for yourself there, then you're always going to have the availability to be able to get up on a phone call, because the biggest problem in California is these people don't answer their phones. I answer my phone all the time. Out of nowhere, I get phone calls to go do divorces, and restraining orders. And you guys would probably hate me because I charge between $175 and $350 to go do those, but I do it complete because the risk on these is as soon as you serve those, the spouse is potentially going to get their butt beat up because of the other spouse serving it. And 50 to 75% of the time, as I'm walking into the sheriff's office or the police department and serving them the proof of service and the documents, they're getting beat up and a phone call is coming in as fast as I'm giving them the proof of service to the police departments.
Yeah, that's terrible. Yeah.
Remember these things because it happens and it's life. You have to protect yourself and you have to make sure you have the money to be able to get there and get back. And while you're doing that, always, always, always fill your tank up first. Do not go anywhere with less than half a tank of gas, especially out in the boondocks.
Yeah, it's better for your car too if you don't run on low gas. So
Okay.
I want to show you guys really quick. I love that, Pete. Appreciate that. Yeah, definitely. If you're running low, these are some things I want. Pete, you mentioned something that I want to make sure I highlight for people. If this is my form for 123 Legal Support, my legal company, that we build and we actually give to our website customers, I want to show this really quick because, they fill it out, they come in, they order. But one of the things you mentioned about credit card fees and you didn't go there, but about chargebacks is the idea. Something that I've always worried about that I've had some problems with until I fixed it was this order form. Whatever your fee is, you can build in a convenience fee. I mean, the ability that when somebody calls you just to say, go to my website, click order online, it'll automatically charge your card this amount because you haven't established a relationship with that customer yet. Why would they assume, or why would you assume if you're hiring a process server that you wouldn't have to pay up front? Assume you have to pay up front. Okay. That should be how you assume things because you don't have a relationship with them yet. If you built a relationship, that's different, right? And then what I've set, and I've changed this form probably 1,000 times, no exaggerating. You read through here. I actually had one attorney tell me, and I mentioned this to you guys before, but one attorney tell me, but like, Mike, I can't sign this. It says that you could bill my card any amount. It doesn't say that, but he says the legal translation is you can charge my card any amount, and there's nothing I can do or say about it, and I can't sue you. I'm like, yeah, that's because people do chargebacks, and I want it to be ironclad proof. And he's like, well, it is. And he says, can I just give you a check? So I was like, sure, give me a check. So the ability to do this, and it allows you when if someone does do a chargeback, that you can have this on file when they sign and say, actually, they actually signed an agreement saying that they would not ask for refunds, and that if they did, they would have to pay arbitration fees. And so having something like this set up, either through Mighty Website Builder or yourself, you can use FormStack. That's what we use, FormStack. I think it might be like $100 a month or something. For us, it's included in our professional plan. So, but having something like that so you can accept payments while you're on the go is really, really powerful. Running out of gas at a Target's house serving papers. Don't you know, Jeff, you got to turn the car off and have the little electric fan?
It was very embarrassing. I was in the boonies and miles away and didn't know where the gas station was. And I embarrassingly didn't check my gas tank before I went out to serve. So yeah, I've been there.
Yeah. Yeah, Pete makes a good point. And just having that, so the guys, there's so much value in this meeting, and I appreciate all of you guys coming. If you have questions, the best way to reach out to me, I get messages, emails for different places, is on School. If you go to the School platform, if you're not already on School, go join it. If you are, you already know about this. You can just go click on my face on the platform and message me directly in there. If you can't message yet, it's because you haven't reached level 2. And level 2 inside the community is really easy to get. You just go comment on a couple of the posts I've done. It'll automatically give you the points you need so that you can go and message people. You can message people directly in the community. Everything's free in the community. Okay, I've thought about charging for it many times because there's so much value in there. But the only work you have to do is networking and getting to know other people in the community, which by the way is going to make you money. Okay. So I hope you guys found this enjoyable today. I know I have. I know it was a great treat having Mike Kern come on. He's a wealth of knowledge. And until next time, you guys, let's do our flex. Take care, be safe, and as always, live mighty. Come on, Nate. I see you. Oh, he's driving. Let it kill him there.
All right, be safe, everybody.
See you guys. See you guys on Thursday. If you're interested in checking out the Be the Backup, we're actually going to make calls where I actually make calls to your market as if I work for your company. Okay. So if you're having trouble picking up the phone and making these calls we're talking about, I will call you attorney in your market and get them for you as a client, or at least get on their radar for you. Okay. A lot of you guys are just holding back and not doing it because maybe you don't feel like you're worthy. Your mom didn't hug you enough when you were a kid. Your dad said you wouldn't be enough. He'll never amount to anything. Whatever it is that's keeping you from taking action in your business, like I will thump it out of your head and you will be successful. Okay. You will be. You just got to stick with us here, get in the community, get engaged.